Yep, your mic is right there and it's on. Good rising. What's going on? I'm in my feels today. Ooh, good rising, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Y'all know me? Nah, y'all know me? I'm so excited. I am Taylor Andre. Waking up with Taylor Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. Y'all know what today is. You tuned in for a reason. You here with a purpose. Today's Freaky Friday. So for those who may not know, so I am Taylor Andre. We talk about everything motivational Monday through Freaky Friday because I'm a whole human. Like I'm a whole person. And because I'm a whole person, I have different aspects of me. I like to have fun, but I also like to meditate in multiple ways of meditations. So I just want to give a shout out because we got a guest in the building. Shout out to Mary. Hey, Mary. How you doing, Mary? You well?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Freaky Friday. So today we're going to talk about different types of orgasms. And I'm really excited for that because I learned that like some people are hitters and quitters, just like ones and dones. And I didn't think that was a real thing. I was unaware that just a smash and it's over. Like I was completely unaware. And I be done. I feel bad for him. I really feel bad. Anyway, so as far as the news is concerned, we're going to get into the news. Can I play y'all some music? I feel like I want to dance. It's snowing the freak outside. Can you see that? This is not okay. I'm not okay with it. That's what we're going through right now. And it's about like an inch outside, and it's heavy snow. It's like that type of snow. You make a snowball real quick type of snow. So did you guys know that they created a hip-hop museum? It's at the Universal Hip-Hop Museum, and Emmy-winning filmmaker Lisa Cortez wants to reach voters. Traditionally, outreach does not work, and so she wanted to create a film. And so she was a hip-hop veteran who once worked with artists like LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys. And she created the documentary on Netflix, the remix, the hip-hop and fashion, the fight for democracy. Like, she's dope. And so she got a lot going on and is doing different type of things in everywhere. And I just want to talk about hip-hop for a second because I recently had a conversation with my cousin, the one who doesn't recreationally do sadness. We were talking about hip-hop, and he said hip-hop is no longer existing right now, and that what is being marketed as hip-hop is really pop. And hip-hop has been invaded and has not been the same for a decade. You don't agree?
I don't agree.
Come on, Mary. Tell me why you don't agree.
I don't agree because as a young person who is involved in
Put it on your lip.
As a young person who loves hip hop and who's involved in hip hop, I feel like it has changed over time, and maybe people aren't comfortable with change. So it sounds really non-acceptant of like today's culture of what we're defining hip hop to be. So just saying, it used to be different back in the day in the 90s, maybe in the 80s, and the 2000s, early 2000s, and it's different now. So people have to support that and accept it.
So if hip hop, under the guise of hip hop, is this thing, and then it changed, it's now something else, but it's the same thing.
That's totally okay.
Hip hop did not have a sex change. That was not that's not what happened.
Yeah, but that's what it sounds like the person is saying, and pretty much like you have to, just because you found something, that doesn't mean that it's going to be the same how you founded it in 20 years from now. You got to be willing to continue to support, and that's the problem with hip hop is that like.
So you're not okay with saying that there has been a new lane of music that should be titled or named its own thing?
No, it's hip hop.
And
it's okay that it changed over time, and people have to support that.
So I wholeheartedly disagree.
Oh, that's okay.
I think hip hop has not changed. I think hip hop has been culturally appropriated. I think hip hop has been raped. I think hip hop has now mixed children, and these mixed children are the result of hip hop being stolen. But I do feel like hip hop exists, and we still have some artists that are out here that are actual artists that do their thing, regardless of the genre of music that they make. I think they're a hip hop artist. And so for me, like, I feel strongly about music. And I do. I feel like hip hop was definitely raped, and there's, you know, we love them.
Yeah,
we love these mixed kids.
Yeah.
But there's mixed kids.
I see what you mean about, like, you know, taking the culture and, for example, like, people got all crazy when, you know, Kim Kardashian was wearing cornrows and called them something different. Like, you know, that's exactly what it is. Like, you're stealing the culture. It's kind of like when parents say, like, what those kids be listening to nowadays? Like, yo, it's hip hop. And I need you to respect that, you know? Just saying.
I got you.
I see where you're coming from, though.
You feel me? You feel me differently?
You know?
Well, especially when you grow up in hip hop. Like, it's
Like real MCs.
yes, yes.
It's just different, you know?
Like
That's
somebody
why
who could
mumble
just
rap-
stand in front of a mic and just spit some.
But mumble rap might be that. It might sound really good to the ears, you know? You're going to say it's not hip hop? Because I like some mumble rappers, you know?
I like mumble rappers too, but call them, give them the genre. Don't, just because it's an extension
the
of a
culture,
thing.
though.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hip-hop
Because
is the
that part
culture.
has been hijacked too, though.
Yes.
So if we're going to have a real conversation, we're going to have
you
a real
know,
conversation.
Share it, but, you know, maybe just not going as far as not acknowledging the people who founded it and trying to steal it as your own versus like, hey, I got this from so-and-so. It's different. Stolen.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to go to my go-to. That's what I'm going to do. Go to my go-to. Mary, let's talk about overqualifications of women. Let's talk about women being overqualified in life for some of these men got going on. Yo, this chick on Instagram was posting this video, and she was talking about there's no reason why you slide in my DM and you can't have a decent conversation. Like, don't yo mommy. Don't like come to me like a grown up. I have a whole job. I have kids. Don't ayo me. Does that make you unqualified? Well, maybe some qualified women like ayo. You like ayo? Ayo.
I won't sit on here and talk about, you know, personal preferences, but it's all about like getting to know a person over time and figuring out what's the right approach to them. You may like AO, you may not like it, you know, it's all up to you, but it's up for that man to figure out
how to do it.
Yeah, how to do it.
Where's the guidance? Where's the leadership when none of these men had guidance and leadership to show them like, yo, you don't talk to a woman like that though?
I mean, there's some good, you know, elder gentlemen around here.
They're just supposed to go find them a mentor? That's what it is? You want them to find a daddy?
I don't know.
Yo, it's real life. That's what we doing now.
Hey, you know, there's.
But some of these young men are lost. And one of the things that I never understood as far as education is concerned, education is the only thing that has not altered in the last 60 years. Like the way we educate like 60 years ago, 70 years ago. The way we do everything else in life is different, down to how we eat and cook and prepare food.
That's because education,
the way we clean our ass, like everything is different now except for education.
That's because if you have a great education, it unlocks access to what you have access to or different opportunities. And
what good education look like?
What does education look? What does a good education
yes,
look like?
because you just said like the things that have not changed is because we need the same thing. We still need to read Elizabethan literature. We still need that today. We still need to understand that.
Well, that's
or we need to like use that time to teach coding. Use that time to make sure that our kids leave out here. I ain't spoke about none of the shit that I read in school. Did it add anything to my life? No. If I want to learn about that shit, there's museums and history shit that I can go and do that. Like that's as far as that is concerned. But if we rewind that shit to Baby Rain, what is it that Baby Rain is good at? Effing up. He's really good at destroying stuff. So I'm going to find like whatever it is that he's good at, he's like phonetically with his letters. I think he's going to be a writer because he loved to write. He liked to draw. So I'm definitely going to mold that. But we don't see like what it is that children, and we're probably one of the only societies that doesn't look at children in their youth and see what it is that they're good at and then train them up in that way.
Well, that's because a lot of people who are raising children these days, because it's not necessarily parents a lot of the time. Sometimes it could be grandma. Sometimes it could be, you could be a foster parent. They may, you never know who's in the household, And a lot of those people, even themselves, don't have those types of experiences. So generationally, how do you expect the child to pick up on something if generationally in their family, everybody did the same job, they worked at the same job, they all did the same thing? So that's how, talk about systematic racism within schools. Like, that's how it's able to continue to allow for our families to be marginalized, because it doesn't expose them to things that they're great at. And you ask, like, what makes a good school a good school? A good school, like, creates a good environment for my kid. As long as my child is happy and is excelling and is growing and is meeting standards, whatever they may be, because a test is a small part of it, then that's what makes a great school a great school. You might like Montessori schools for your kid because you don't like how standardized test goes. You might want your kid to go to a testing school. You might want,
pull that up and put it on your lap.
You may want a different type of school for your kid. You might want a charter school. You might want a public school. You might want a school that's specialized, and you might want Madison Park because they have a whatever academy.
Because they're dope.
Yeah, because they have something great. And
what's the school in Dedham called? That big school in Dedham?
In Dedham?
Yeah, that you have to take a test for.
There?
No, but it's like that one. Something's in something. It's 2 words. Something in Nobles. Greenock and Nobles.
Nobles and Greendale? Yeah.
Whatever. You know what I was talking about. Okay, so whatever the name of the school. So Asaria's testing scores are through the roof. Yep. So they've been trying to get her for years. Or like all the schools have been trying to get her for years. And so we went and toured the school. Yo, like if that's what money affords you at $65,000 a year, that's what money affords you. Like, yo, it was a college campus, and in high school, you damn near choose your major and then go to college with an associate's degree.
That's how it why if your daughter can do that, then why would parents not want their kids to be in those environments? She didn't want to be
isolated. Like, she only been around black kids her whole life.
Yeah. Well, that's
and
the
so
environment.
That when we went there, it was, so hold on. So like a historically, like a HBCU type environment for high school?
Yeah, I mean.
That would be dope.
There's a school out in Brooklyn, New York called Excel Academy for boys. They have one for boys and one for girls. And it started, founded by this guy who's amazing. And he pretty much has a school for all black boys and all black girls. It's K-8. And I mean, there's some people
I feel like I've read about him like 8 years ago.
And those kids are excelling. It's about the environment that you're putting them in. So I'm quite sure your daughter would have done academically great at Nobles, but would she have been comfortable? Like, that's part of the formula also, is the kid comfortable and actually wants to go to school. How many of y'all kids out there like Zoom again? Ugh, can't wait for this is over. Yeah. Closes the laptop as soon as it's done, doesn't say bye when they sign off. Like,
nothing.
Not interested.
Daryl said it's all about electives to help your child figure out what they're good at and competent teachers. And we do, like, I remember all my teachers being old as hell. Like, they were all old ladies with, like, 1 or 2 young people and, like, maybe a man.
You know what's funny with that? When he's absolutely right. Thank you, Daryl, for chiming in. But I didn't get, like, my first black teacher into the 6th grade. So it's about that too. It's about cultural competence also. And are you connecting with the kid? Do you know how to deal with them, or are you going to enable them to not be ready for life and for the world after 12th grade? It's not just about college. It's like, are you able to deal with the world? And if you're not ready, if you're not preparing those kids every day, they're not going to be ready.
Well, our children ain't ready. We saw that in the Boston Globe valedictorian article. Our babies ain't ready. And whose fault is that? And what has changed in order for that to change?
It's all about the foundation. Your parent, there's a really good organization out there. It's called First Teacher. And pretty much like they support, I know because I know somebody that is a participant there. And pretty much like they support parents and like how to become your child's essential first teacher, because you are that. And you'd be surprised how many parents just don't know how to navigate the education space.
I didn't go to school for that. That's like a whole career. It's like, I can't believe you don't know how to weld. It's like, exactly. Like, how am I supposed to know how to do that? Oh, you don't know how to change oil? No, I didn't go to school for that. Like, being a teacher, being an educator, understanding like the pedagogies, the curriculums, how people learn, the psychology, like that's a lot. It's not just like learning how to recite what the hell's on paper. And then for parents that have children that either are or need to be on medication, that's a whole nother beast. And if
it is,
I just, Baby Rain needs to learn in the beginning of the day and at the end of the day. In between, he just need to run laps. That's it. Just put him on a track field and run laps. Lord, have you voted already? Like early voted?
Yes, I early voted.
You did. Oh, I'm horrible. Well, I feel like on the busiest when I vote, it's no problem. So it wasn't a vote last time. It wasn't a problem last time. I want to vote.
Yeah, that's
on
the point.
voting day.
As long as there are different options. People like different options. Not everybody has the same schedule. So,
and I can't believe motherfuckers like really want to mail something in with everything that's going on with the mail. Y'all been losing mail for how long? This ain't like forget ballots. Like let's not talk about ballots. Let's talk about checks that you paid people that got there 6 months later. Like let's talk about that. Who was responsible? The only person who could have touched it. The United States. So y'all were trusting your vote to the United States. It's a really good idea if you're behind the wall. And Ayanna Pressley just came out and said that people behind the wall are enabled to get their $1,200. And so she is urging families to go out there and make sure that you help them file on their behalf to get their, how much? 1,200?
1,200.
Incarcerated people are eligible for stimulus checks, and they want to know why the Bureau of Prisons is blocking them. That's because they're going to collect it. Remember I read so I was reading tweets about like horrible moms, toxic moms, and it was like he got the stimulus check, and the mother was like, I'm keeping $1,500 and you can have like 100 for food. It was like something weird like that. And then the child also got their FHA stimulus. No, that's real estate. Oh my God. FAFSA. They got their FAFSA check. And the mother was like, oh yeah, and your school told me about your FAFSA check, and I'll be holding on to that as well. Like leaving the baby in college with no money. And that's exactly what the prison is doing. Like, we'll take that. In Kansas, more than $200,000 in stimulus payments were wrongfully seized in letter notes, despite courts approving the payment for imprisoned people and their families. And so this just goes to show, like, intentional suppression. Intentional, like, does $1,200 cure poverty? No. Does it, like, take you out of poverty and change your life? No, but for a lot of people, that puts them on their feet for a while and helps them out, especially when you think about southern states, you think about rural areas, you think about people who lack big city hustle bustle, constant flow of funds. And
$1,200 go a long way.
$1,200 can go far. And so as of October 29th, at least 152,955 imprisoned people have tested positive for the coronavirus, with 1,276 reported deaths. And when we talk about people behind the wall, we never include them in any of our numbers. Like, they're not human, like they're not part of society. And so there are and have been deaths in behind the wall, and there's been over 1,200 of them who have passed. Daryl said, going to school in Boston in the 70s and 80s, it was rare to have a black teacher. We were steered away from the teaching profession. When once upon a time, we were only teachers. Like, that was the only profession that we could have, was being an educator. because you could educate them black kids, because we ain't finna do it. Lord. Can I play? I really want to play this for you guys because you probably saw it on the gram. But if not, this girl went all the way off.
I'm sure nobody. Fair warning. I'm not nice, and I don't seek to be respectable. I'm not asking y'all for anything because y'all can't and won't be both my savior and my oppressor. I don't want reform. I want to turn this building into luxury, low-cost housing. These will make some really nice apartments to me. Firstly, stop using black children as photo opportunities because they're cute now, but in 10 years, they're black male suspect in red shirts. I'm sure nobody. Fair warning. I'm not nice, and I don't seek to be respectable. I'm not asking y'all for anything because y'all can't and won't be both my savior and my oppressor. I don't want reform. I want to turn this building into luxury, low-cost housing. These will make some really nice apartments to me. Firstly, stop using black children as photo opportunities because they're cute now, but in 10 years, they're black male suspect in red shirts and khaki shorts. Eating cookies and drinking milk with children does not absolve you of your complicity in their oppression and denigration, Rick Smith. Because Kansas City will spend more on police than education and then try to encourage children to feast with their oppressors. Y'all are really weird. It's asinine to be called radical or homegrown terrorists for not wanting government employees to kill citizens in any instance. So I'm not here begging anything of soulless white folks and self-preserving black folks. You get one life, and you all in this room have chosen profits over people, and that's pathetic. So I'm going to spend the next 2 minutes reading y'all for a filth, something I'm sure nobody has ever done. Nathan, the gentleman in the vomit-colored men's warehouse suit in desperate need of Bosley and a haircut, a former FBI agent who exudes white privilege and is the epitome of mediocrity, and who loves Trump so much that he hired his former attorney general at his firm. And it's so sweet because he spent most of this meeting looking away with his head in his hands. Or Mark, Pastor Mark of Victorious Life Church on 34th and Paseo, where the mission is to provide a place and opportunity to worship Jesus Christ and preach a message of hope and faith through God's holy word in the building. Meanwhile, he's subjecting black people to terrorism and un-Christ-like behavior at the hands of KCPD outside the building. And Kathy, Miss, I'll get here before the other commission members, so I look as if I have empathy, and I'm excited to hear what they have to say. Meanwhile, I didn't have anything else to do at 8 o'clock in the morning but be rich and white and retired, so I'm here early. Or Don, owner of Wagner Investments, Blue Notes LLC, and part owner of the Royals, another rich and white and disconnected and out of touch person with nothing but pure apathy seeping through the bulging veins of your paper-colored skin. You age like trash when you're racist and subject others to violence. And David, you don't get a vote, but it'd be a shame if your really progressive students at UMKC Block School of Management knew you were a cop lover in 2020. I don't think they would be a huge fan of that in 2020. In 1960 maybe, but this is 2020. And Q, had I not spent the entirety of the last 6 months dragging you, I would have more to say, but I don't. And Rick, I won't even begin with you, because I don't care enough about you.
Ma'am, your time is up.
To start, but you will have to spend overtime in a chapel at the end of your life. You have blood on your hands, and while these idiots hold you on a pedestal, God does not honor injustice and murder. Anyways, I'll leave you soulless, profit-driven, avaricious, greedy, God-forsaken humans, including anyone who works in this building, with one Bible verse from the Bible detailing the life of Jesus Christ, who was another unarmed black man murdered by authorities in the book you hellbound people claim to love so much. What does it profit a man to gain the whole world and forfeit his soul? You're really funny. Kiki.
Yo, when I tell you, well, today was Sunday. I'll go ahead and post the link so you guys can watch it for yourself. But That baby is a Kansas City activist. She was at a hearing, and that's why you show up to MF's hearings. That's why you go to hearings. You go and drag them. These are the people who, with your tax dollars, do as they please. And act like that same conversation could not be had at the Boston City Council, at the State House. Act like that conversation couldn't be had when it comes to the transportation department. Do you want to go on this long list? Police department, fire department, all of the boards of all of the organizations across the city of city of Boston and the Commonwealth? All of the dollars that flow through Boston. Say that same conversation with different names is right here in your own backyard. And while you like, yeah, she went off, and y'all be going off all the time, just not at the right place and time. So take your ass to a hearing, and really, you don't even have to go nowhere no more. So while we were over here itching and complaining about we don't have time to go to the State House, we don't have time to go to City Hall at 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I have to work, they've been changing the time. So after you're off all your other Zooms, you can Zoom City Hall. You can Zoom the State House. Well, I know it's Friday. Y'all just want to talk about sex. But you're going to get this you're going to get this prenup before all of the rest of the stuff, okay? So, Maine is the Northeast, right? Not too far from us. We have a lot of people from Massachusetts that go to Maine. I don't think I've ever been there, but I went borderline to New Hampshire. I had fun. I'd like to go. Maybe. Not so much. Yeah, I want to go to Nova Scotia. So, yes, I will go to Maine to get to Nova Scotia on the little ferry one day. Not soon. Activists bash Susan Collins for claiming systematic racism is not a problem in Maine. Not in a town of Maine, not in a district of Maine, but in all of Maine, systematic racism does not exist. Let's ask the 5 black people that live there. So Republican Senator Susan Collins said that our concerns and our pain is not, we're sorry. She was just like, the Black Lives Matter is so controversial, and if systematic is a problem in racism where 95% of the population is white, I don't think the phrase Black Lives Matter should be controversial. And I think that we are very fortunate in the state of Maine because we have terrific members of law enforcement. So I don't think you understand what it actually means when we say Black Lives Matter. It doesn't mean you kill black people. That's not what it means. But I think that's how she took it. We have great law enforcement.
Cultural competence is lagging.
So to school her, my love, so she has a Twitter, so we can tweet her. We can show up and tweet her. She thinks it's in other parts of the United States, which just at 95% a white community, white state, that means more than 95% of the population that you have access to on a regular basis or any type of interactions with at all are white people. So that 5% population, probably like 0.5% possibility of having interactions are very put you in the mindset that there are no problems and there's nothing that exists, and everything you see on TV is absolutely crazy because you have no other experience with black people and and media is corrupt and tells you what they want you to think instead of giving you the actual facts of what life looks like. So China, could you imagine if Chinese people had they never interacted with black people ever? And that's probably why they get so fascinated. I had Chinese people ask me if they could take pictures of me because they never seen a black person before. I thought it was funny and creeped out at the same time. And I was like, no, thank you. Have fun, though. I was not for zoo petting. That was not what was happening at all. But could you imagine living like in China or living in a remote area of the world, just not close to America, and only understand of Americans and of blacks of what is on TV? So you have to erase every example or every encounter of blackness that you've ever had in your entire life and pretend you have only seen black on television. What would be your real perception?
It probably wouldn't be the best, obviously, because of how, going back to the beginning of the conversation, hip hop portrays us, and or current social media portrays us, and that's the reason why it's our job to go out there and spread a positive voice. It's not, you can't leave it up to other people to write your narrative and to control your narrative. You have to be the person to uplift that voice. So whether you travel or you have an organization that builds schools in Dominican Republic, for example. I mean, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of black powerful people doing great things across the world to show a black positive image. So it's up to you how that perception is for other people. And when they're ignorant towards you, and or as some of us like to say, maybe racist, it's up for you to educate them on why their perception should be different.
That was beautiful. While you just said that, it reminded me that Sierra and Russell Wilson funded a new charter school in Seattle with $1.7 million donation, and I think that's dope. They're making their donation through their Why Not You Foundation. So I was even unaware that they had a Why Not You Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization, and that's dope. Like, just in the background, making moves, not even publicly. Because I never heard either one of them speaking about it. By providing students with access to innovative and equitable education opportunities they deserve, Why Not You Academy will equip today's youth to become tomorrow's leaders. That is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
But the controversy is that here in Massachusetts, they told us to vote no on question 2 when it came to, providing more great academic options for black kids. So just be aware of what's happening in your own backyard.
So I was really entrenched in that fight, right? And there was a lot of misinformation to parents. And it was like, if you vote yes for the charter school, then you're saying no for public. And that was the message that parents felt like, what about my child's school? Like, what about my child's public school? Like, I don't want my child to go to a charter school. Charter school isn't for me. That means less funding. It means like less teachers, because now more teachers want to go to the new shiny school instead of the school that we've been like. So, and the teachers union was going crazy about it. Like, it was really weird. And when you actually took a look at the bill, that's exactly what it was, to give parents the options, to give more options
choices, yeah.
to the parents and to the students. And so it's one thing when, and you know what, honestly, when the people who are backing yes on 2 weren't exactly, they were the Hillary Clintons of them. It was like the Kellogg's family and the freaking Walmart family. And it was huge conglomerates that were trying to buy off the vote. And for me, I understood both sides. I understood from a parent perspective is like, what about my kid's school? But I also understood because my children have been in charter school after we were in public school, and it was an epic freaking fail. After we paid parochial school, and there's more demons in Catholic school than there are in public school. I say that every single time, and I stand by my word. And I am not a fan of the way that they operate in the charter school, but how my child is learning, what my child is learning, I have more autonomy over it. And I've been able to change their curriculum by inboxing a damn director. And so I can't do that with BPS. And trust me, I tried. And they were like, well, you should talk to the teacher. I was like, the teacher told me they can't do anything. The principal's hands are tied. Everybody's sending me to your ass, and you over here redirecting me to the start. This isn't going to work for me because the bill is going to blow. Yo, let me tell you something. I almost got in trouble because when Anari was in public school, like I really did go off. And I called the school board and everybody got, so back in my day, before I grew into the person I am today.
That's just me today.
I used to be crazy, right? So I believe it's 6 of them, 9 of them. Everybody got a voicemail. I got a call from the police because they were like, we just want to make sure that you were not threatening them. I said, was there a threat on there? Because I did say I'm going to come down there. Like, I'm going to come down there and we're going to talk. Because I did need to go down there and we did need to talk because I didn't understand how you thought it was okay for these children. And if this is my kid, what about everybody else's kid? Because he has support at home. And so what about the students that don't have support at home? What are you doing for them, to them, and how are you being helpful? Like, I had to leave the whole hierarchy, bureaucracy, red tape of education because I needed something. And that's where a lot of parents are trying to do now, like take their kids out of school and put them into pods. And so pods is a very popular conversation right now where you get, like, for instance, you go to the Boston Foundation and they have a pool of grants for parents that don't require you to have a 501c. And it's just like up to, I think, 6 kids or 7 kids. And they, use this money from this grant to rent a commercial construction type situation, and they have like a damn near mini school for the kids. And there's an entire network that has like other events for the kids to engage in. So it's like we're creating another option without even knowing we're creating another option. And soon, what's the crazy lady's name? Betsy. Betsy wanted kids to have vouchers. And it looks like we're kind of creeping towards that because if every parent is getting X amount of dollars for their kids and then they can choose how they want to spend those dollars, whether it's with the public school, whether it's with a charter school, like it seems like we're tiptoeing slowly towards that without even consciously knowing it, especially with the like giving of pods. But it makes sense right now for us to have pods. Because I don't want my kids in a big-ass building with all them folks right now. I don't care if it's Tuesday and Thursday only. Like, that's still not enough for me. So I just want to give a shout-out to my husband because he's doing big things. He's always doing big things. I'm so proud of him and all that he does. You know, he went from once upon a time being influence rich and not having deep pockets to doing some investments and changing his life. And I'm so proud of him. And so I just want to give a shout out to Nas. He just produced and narrated a new documentary called Smoke, the Marijuana in Black America. And it is a BET original and it premieres on Asaria's birthday on November 18th. And so I can't wait for that. If you really do know me, y'all already know. I've been a Nas fan since I was a little girl. That's my boo. Ether. But the world has finally begun opening up to the cannabis industry the way I feel it should have been years ago. Nas said in a statement, even still, hate exists in the business for black people, and that's something that sickens me and should be recognized for its blatant evil. The people that have been locked up for marijuana should not only be freed out. I added that. Should not only be free, but receive restitution for the damage done to them by outdated laws. It's important to spread awareness on this, and that's why everyone needs to make sure they tune in and watch the documentary Smoke, because there's white folks that smoke, there's professors that smoke, there's politicians that smoke. Your president smoked weed. All these politicians do cocaine while y'all over here worried about weed. If I'm gonna tell the truth, shoot. Listen, I like to go to parties that I'm not invited to because I get invited as a guest, and I am a professional ear hustler. Your politician snorts cocaine, boo. I'm just not a snitch. Everybody wondering who now. All of them. No, I'm just joking. That's not a real thing. In other news, okay, we got 20 more minutes and then we can talk about sex. Data shows that older black voters are the key in battleground states. And we kind of sort of know this. Battleground states are like southern states. But in the states that the president has a holdover because of the Republicans who used to be the Democrats, who used to engage in voter intimidation to the point of death once upon a time. Like, these are the states that are in history books and the most people have been hung in. Those are the battleground states. So hopefully I broke that down for you. But data shows that it's the elders, our great grandparents and our grandparents. And I've been reading articles about the husband and wife that are like 89 and 93 that sat in line for 4 hours to vote. Like, and I'm blessed that I don't have to vote early. And these are people that are voting early so they don't have to wait in a line. And one of the things that I read earlier is Jonta Austin is an amazing songwriter. He lives in Atlanta. He was in line for 12 hours to vote and made friends with all of his voting neighbors.
Shout out to him.
When I say I'm blessed, I know I could walk in and I can walk out. And I did wait. When I lived in Birmingham, Alabama, and voted for Obama the first time, I did wait, and that was like a 2-hour wait. And the difference between what we do here in Massachusetts and how they vote there, you know how we'll have like one stand that's divided into 4 things? So they literally have like a table, a table, a table, a table, and it's like 10 in total. 10 for the left and 10 for the right. I mean, 5 for the left and 5 for the right. Like, it really is outdated in how they vote. I don't know if it has changed since then. If the lines are fucking 12 hours long, I'm going to assume the answer is no. And so there's definitely some work that could be done to be more efficient. I just don't understand why that's not a priority.
Voter suppression.
It'd be so like
They don't want us to vote.
But we can't bring extra tables. We can't more volunteers.
So here we go. So you started off that conversation with
all right, come on, put it on your lip. Let's go.
You started off.
Let's go, Mary.
You started off that conversation saying, the Democratic Party or someone said that older black voters are going to be the key to this election.
Mm-hmm. No, battleground
states. Yeah. That is the problem. Like, they're already like dividing and conquering our vote. Like, we are the vote in most states, not just battleground states. Most states, the black population is a pretty thick population, if not the majority. That's why the term majority minority area is kind of an oxymoron, but a lot of those states, we are the majority vote. And if we stop allowing people to divide us up in that narrative, then, we'll probably be moving forward. And then you talk about like long lines and how we can change that voter experience. Like, that's why you should vote, to vote the people in who are going to address those things first. So if you're not showing up and participating and allowing people to divide us and, split us up in half, the older voters are going this way, younger voters are going this way, women are going this way, guys are going this way, then we'd be much stronger as a collective.
You and I see why.
Just saying, It's true.
China, what's the most revolutionary thing in the world?
The most revolutionary thing in the world?
Mm-hmm.
The opportunity to be able to vote.
I'll let you have that. The most revolutionary thing that you can do as a black person is create a black family. I should have reworded that. What's the most important? You still would have said vote because your brain's on vote right now. You're right, maybe, yes. But what if it's the truth, though? What if it's not dividing, but it's the truth that elders are out here more than these young folks is out here?
And we have a lot of work to do. Like, we have to make sure that we're focused on us and what we need to be doing to get to the polls. Can't be focused on everything else. So we need to make sure that we bring in all 15 of our cousins and them, or everybody else down the vote.
That was a struggle to make them even, what's the name, to vote?
Who to vote?
To even get them registered to vote. Like, it was a pain in order to even get them registered. Oh, gosh. Somebody got a freaking Loan Depot loan. This is ridiculous. The loan to value is kind of good. What's the percent? That's verbal. Nah, because they didn't even run credit. This is not a pre-approval. This is a pre-qualification.
Are you on this?
Yes. We be interacting at one together. Yo, do not ever, first and foremost, whenever you're ready to buy a house, do not go through Loan Depot. I'm going to tell you that right now. It is a waste of time. It is a waste of money. If I see a Loan Depot and first and foremost, there is little stock out here. There's little to no houses. I have a client right now with a $600,000 pre-approval and on a single family, not a two family, on a single family, and has been looking outside of the city of Boston. And we put in 7 offers. Every offer has been outbid at $600,000 for a single family. Like, it's crazy out here. So there's no stock out here. And so when you are walking into and putting down an offer, you want your offer to be as strong as possible. And a Loan Depot loan is going to be the one that goes in the trash. I'm not even telling my client about your loan because how they work, how they don't work. You'll be at the closing table realizing you're not getting the keys to your house because Loan Depot done messed up some stuff. So I'm just trying to save you the heartache, boo. Should have added that to the book. Yo, what's the capital of Maine?
Bangor.
What's the capital of Vermont?
Montpelier.
What is the capital of New Hampshire?
Is it Nashua?
Oh, you're so good in geography. I wouldn't have got none of those right. And I live in New England. That goes to tell you, first of all, that has nothing to do with my education. I want to be clear.
Well, what elementary school did you go to?
I want to be clear. That has nothing to do with education. Like, how many times have I been there where I don't think about them? I don't, like, that is out of... That is something you're supposed to know, aren't you? Are you supposed to know all the damn capitals?
You never learned the song when you were in, like, elementary school?
No, but I know the country song from Animaniacs.
Well, shout out to BPS because that's one thing that I did learn.
Yo, does anybody else know all capitals to all the states? You know all the states' capitals. Montana.
There's like a song for that.
Montana.
I mean, I don't know it right off the top of my head, but if I probably start singing the song.
Okay, then. So you don't know it. You know what?
What's the song?
I'm not going to bust the song because I don't know it. But I learned, so when Asaria was learning her ABCs, learning her phonics, I learned that if your child only knows the song and they don't know the actual letters, they don't know it. So if you only know the state capitals off of songs, you don't actually know it, you just know the songs.
That's not true because if you know the song, then is that saying that you don't know it?
If you sing the ABCs, but if I point to D, you don't know that's D until you go through the song?
No, that's now hitting on your learning style. Someone could say, hey, the test could be verbal. What's your alphabet? And you say A through Z and you passed it. Versus a visual test, there's different types of learners. You know, kinesthetic learners, there's...
I completely understand that. But if you have to sing the alphabet before
there's
know
some people
D,
out there that are adults that have to count by their fingers and sing the ABCs or what's the 13th letter in the alphabet and they're like A, B, C.
Yeah, who's gonna know that? There's somebody who gets this. What is the 14th? What's the 20?
Oh, hold on. See, you're like I don't.
What's the
let me go to one
letter?
that I know. Let me go to one that I know.
What's the 20th letter?
Let me go to one that I know.
That's nonsense. But you know what? That's the that's the test that Trump was talking about that he passed. With flying colors. He passed it with flying colors. Yo, the Animaniacs was dope for that though. Yo, the comments over here. Animaniacs. Those are the facts. Watch, wait for it. But I lied because I think I may have forgotten it.
Animaniacs, those are the facts.
And now, the nations of the world, brought to you by Yakko Warner. United States, Canada, Mexico, Panama, Haiti, Jamaica, Peru, Republic Dominican, Cuba, Caribbean, Greenland, El Salvador too, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Venezuela, Honduras, Guyana, and still Guatemala, Bolivia, then Argentina, and Ecuador, Chile, Brazil, Costa Rica, Belize, Nicaragua, Bermuda, Bahamas, Tobago, San Juan, Paraguay, Uruguay, Suriname, and French Guiana, Barbados, and Guam. Norway and Sweden and Iceland and Finland and Germany now one piece. Switzerland, Austria, Czechoslovakia, Italy, Turkey and Greece. Poland, Romania, Scotland, Albania, Ireland, Russia, Oman. Bulgaria, Saudi Arabia, Hungary, Cyprus, Iraq and Iran. There's Syria, Lebanon, Israel, Jordan, both Yemen, Kuwait and Bahrain. The Netherlands, Luxembourg, Belgium and Portugal, France, England, Denmark and Spain. India, Pakistan, Burma, Afghanistan, Thailand, Nepal, and Bhutan, Cambodia, Malaysia, then Bangladesh, Asia, and China, Korea, Japan, Mongolia, Laos, and Tibet, Indonesia, the Philippine Islands, Taiwan, Sri Lanka, New Guinea, Sumatra, New Zealand, then Borneo and Vietnam, Tunisia, Morocco, Uganda, Angola, Zimbabwe, Djibouti, Botswana, Mozambique, Zambia,
Yo, sorry you know the whole song. The whole song.
What was that show about?
Animaniacs was about nothing but everything.
Yeah.
You learned so much from Animaniacs. They were the teachers of the hood rat kids, because I was one of them.
You too?
Yes, I was a huge fan. I ran home after school for Animaniacs, B.
I used to run home after school for Hey Arnold.
For Hey Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you remember the WB? Mm-hmm. Yo, that was my favorite. Yo,
56.
that was the best.
You had
LVI
cable.
56. It sure was. 7 and 8 year olds that watch channel 56. That's how I learned 56. The multiplication of 7 and 8 back in the day. Yo, but the WB was the best. Like prior to BET showing as many TV shows as they do now, because BET was all about music back in the day. Like it was only a music station. With very little like talk shows, whatever, but they didn't play television shows like they play television shows. And BET also has like 3 different stations now, from what I gathered being at Nana's house.
It's a network now.
Listen, when I tell you I haven't seen cable, there ain't been a cable bill in my name in over 13, 14 years. But we have 7 minutes before we can talk about sex, which the most exciting part of my entire week. Did you know I used to sell sex toys, Mary? I still have some. You want one?
I'll pass.
Okay. Can we just start early?
Real entrepreneur.
I am, exactly. Yo, you know what I was thinking about today? I haven't had a W-2 since like high school. I haven't had a W-2 in so long. And I was like, do people, what taxes is on like a W-2? And I was like, damn, I ain't seen a W-2 in a really long time. I was thinking about the money that leaves Boston because of how many people don't live in the city but work in the city and take that city money outside of the city. Is that a real thing?
Yes.
How much money is that? How much money is taken out of the city of Boston from like the teachers that don't live here? Like we pay the teachers, but yet the teachers take that money back home in the form of their real estate tax, and the police officers and the firefighters. And these people who are supposed to live here for 10 years before they can leave outside the city, but what they're doing is they're buying multifamilies and then they're putting their, like, they're renting it out to Section 8, but having the utilities in their name. And so when they need to show proof of address, like the utilities is in their name, they just pay their tenants' utilities and jack up and, like, put it in the rent. But they don't live here in Boston. So they're collecting Boston rents and Boston money and then Boston money from their job, and they take it outside of the city, and that money goes to their schools and that money goes to like their roads, and even the students that go to the exam schools. So Anari actually has a really good friend what's the school over there on Gallivan? Not Gallivan. You go all the way down to Gallivan like you're coming up here by the Expo Center. What school is that?
BC High?
Yeah. Yes. And that's an exam school, right?
It's an all-boys school. It's like a Nobles and
No, what's not BC High, the other one. Some BLM. Black at what was the babies who came out and talking about this, like the school's so racist, the high school's racist, the teachers racist?
Boston Lion School?
Yes, Boston Lion School.
That's in the Longwood Medical area.
Okay, so Boston Lion. The little boy goes to Boston Lion, and he said that those kids come in from the Norwood line. They come in from the other line. Like, they take commuter rail to come into school because they don't live in Boston. Like, in all of them. Remember the kid that got in trouble for being on the commuter rail, and he got kicked off for, this was like 5-6 years ago. And that's when it was revealed, like, these kids are going out to Newton and what's the other N1? Needham. That's what it is. Needham, Woburn, where the all-girls school is. Like, them kids is out there. They're not here, and they're going to the school. And if we really, like, show me where you lived, show me where you live. Let's go to your house. And back in the day when racial discrimination was more prevalent than it is now, before you could be accepted into an apartment, the landlord or the building facility, whoever was in charge, would go to your house before you were accepted as an applicant to see what your living conditions are. And if they did that today, all these kids in all these exam schools would be going to their respective public schools, wherever it is that they really live. And we'd have so many more seats for Boston students. But that's neither here nor there, right? Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. Daydreaming and I'm thinking of you. TV was Taylor's teacher. Where was mommy? At work at one of the 3 jobs. That's where she was. And my daddy was in the Air Force. And my stepfather was working like my mother was working. So it was me. I'm the oldest of all my brothers and sisters. And if you ask any of them who the real mother is, hi, what's your name? Taylor. My baby brother is my son. Whenever there was an issue or a problem, he was in school. Sean Michael is my child. I did not push him out, but that was my first kid when I was 12. And still to this day, I know everything before his own mother does. And there's some things that I know that his mother does not know. Because I am his mother. In every state, the poorest, most disproportionate areas are right outside of the downtown area, right where the highways went through and cut through our communities. You're absolutely right, and that is every community. You will always see us living by the highway, which attributes a lot to our environmental injustice, because we have so many health conditions when it comes to asthma and when it comes to like other breathing disorders. Can we talk about mesothelioma? How do you say that? Mesothelioma.
Mesothelioma.
Yes. How on earth do they even know what causes it? And are we still using that material? Because I feel like they've been calling it out since I was in high school. Those commercials have been around for a long time. Are we still using the damn material that causes mesothelioma? Because why are you still asking 30 years later for somebody who has experienced these symptoms, please come forward for a class action suit? I need those materials to cease and desist immediately.
Maybe because the person doesn't have access to adequate health care, so they can't come forth, and they're not solving the problem.
That sounds about right. Amen.
Sorry.
Guess what time it is? Mary, guess what time it is? Let me tell you about Mary. So, now that we're talking about penis, so first and foremost, I am Taylor Andre. Waking Up with Taylor Andre has absolutely nothing to do with the time of day we link up, but about waking up your third eye with unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. On Monday, we motivate you with spirituality and God-like scriptures, and then on Friday, we turn you out like it's a stripper pole. So We are whole people. I am a whole person. I have meditation days and I have freaky days. And if you don't like today, see you on Monday. And if you are here, better not bring your kids. This is not the day you bring your children. Your children are not here to listen. Put it in your ear pods. So with that being said, we are talking about different ways to orgasm. So there are so many ways. We talked recently about anal sex. And remember, we talked about like amazing coming during anal sex and how dope it is. And so somebody was like, there's no way that you can come through anal sex. I'm like, babe, let me teach you something, okay? There are multiple ways that you can come. And it's not just one way. Like, you have multiple orgasms in your life. What kind of orgasm do you want to engage in? Depends on the position you put yourself in. It depends on the person that you're with. Like, all of those orgasms don't just come by themselves. You can control your body. If you want a certain kind of orgasm, know what you need to do so you can get that one. You feel me? Take control of your sex life. If you want a certain kind of food, what do? You cook it or you order it. So do the same thing with your sex life. If you you can do it by yourself or you can order it. Absolutely. So the different types of orgasms. Let's talk about men first. A man can have an orgasm through his anus, just like a woman can have an orgasm through her anus. So as far as a male anal orgasm, there are not too many men that allow you to give them an anal orgasm. But if you watched American Pie, you will know it's possible. Or if you watch porn. And and if I have a question, I'm going to go watch a video on how it works. And so I've learned how it works and different techniques that you can do as a female to give pleasures to a man. I've never tested it before, so I have no idea if it'll work, but I'm willing to try. Oh, Lord. Okay, so different types of orgasms for a man. Did you know that a man could come? You know that landing strip that you guys have? That thing is so pretty, and I love it when it has like a raised line under the balls. Like that line that goes on the balls and under the balls, and it's like kind of raised and like a little bumpy. You don't know what I'm talking about? What's the name of that line? Do, 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 do. The line under the balls. Yo, Google knows exact. It's called the stitch line or scar line, or that's what it appears to be. The perineal Ralph. Where is Miss Irvine? Because Miss Irvine always knows everything about sex. You know Miss Irvine? Mm-mm. So Miss Irvine is like, safer is sexier, to like talk about safe sex and make sure you use a condom because you don't know what people have and you just be screwing random people. You don't know. Perineal efferent, I think. Let me see the images. Yes, that's what it is. I want to show you guys, but you guys might have kids. I want you to look up Google on your phone. It's PERIN. Let's see if we can do this. Better not bring your kids. Okay, you see these? Yes, that's one right there. That is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. I'm not sure why. Another thing is the fact like balls move. Did you know that? Like that is, I love that. The fact that balls move by themselves. Like if you touch them and then leave them alone, the meat shrivels up and moves around and the balls like go up and down. You have nothing to add, Mary.
No. Supporting the cause.
Fine. But men can have an orgasm by like touching it, playing with it, licking it. And some men, like, that's all they really need is like some type of like nice little massaging, some deep stroking. One of the things that I learned is if a man is about to ejaculate and you hold on, let me show you again. So, where's the best one to show you? Right here. So this in itself is not attractive, but if you hold like right here, you can feel like right here, it'll be like a water hose. Like all of the cum will be blocked up right there. And then you can feel this whole thing pulsate. And so if you like touch it and let it go and touch it and let it go and then touch it and let it go while he's coming, I'm trying to put you on game, boo. I'm trying to help you. Your whole life about to change. Men, if you are a masturbator, I would like for you to try that because most of you masturbate with only one hand, right? Or do you do two? One or two? One? Two? Zero. Then that's not masturbation. You have help. Okay, so next time, right before you're about to come, underneath your balls, hold that spot right there. Like press it with pressure, and it'll stop the cum from coming. And it's like being able to control your nut and then let it go. It's like the most amazing feeling. If you've ever held your pee for so long and couldn't pee, and then all of a sudden you got this like orgasmic feeling. Listen, when sex isn't available, I just hold my pee. It's a really quick orgasm, and I don't know why you get orgasms like that, but I come differently. Like, I'm just a different person when it comes to that. And we talked about this, Mary. For me, I'm unhappy if it's less than 6. Like, I'm not okay. Like, that was a waste for me because now I got to walk around horny. Like, I got blue balls. If I get less than 6 nuts, it's like having blue balls. I'm not satisfied. I'm annoyed. I turn hangry. Don't play like you don't get, when you get hungry and you get upset and you get annoyed. I get hangry. Like, hangry is my thing. But y'all know I don't play when it comes to food or sleep. Those are the 2 things I don't play about. If God said choose out of these things, you have to choose. I'm choosing food and sleep. I will be sexless. I'm not even going to speak that into existence. God, you didn't ask me that. And I'm not even going to create those circumstances in my life at all. But we're supposed to be talking about orgasms. I don't know how we got here. It's all your fault, Mary. So one type of orgasm is the big O, like the O, 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 O. Did you watch Sex and the City? You don't remember? Oh, so there was this dude that Carrie was having sex with, and he was like, oh, 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 oh. She was like, I can't have sex with him. It's embarrassing. I couldn't either. I'd be laughing the whole time. So the big O is like, it's extremely intense. It's that one that damn near puts you to sleep as soon as it's over. It really Mary says she's one and done. I'm sorry, Mary. I wish your sex life, I wish you happy vibes in your sex life. I send you more orgasms. The big O puts you to, ooh, what is this? Pleaser tongue vibrator. Yes, please send me things like this. Oh, this is actually really dope. I don't feel like I would like it, though. Because how does it stay lubricated? Y'all can see that? Y'all see that? It has a little suction cup. I gotta come out of it before it would even shut off. It had a suction cup that licked on nipples, and then it had a suction cup that licked on clit, and then it had an interior that plays with your G-spot. But I don't know. It may be worth it. You sent it to me for a reason, so it might be worth it, huh? Because you used it. If you sent it to me, you know what it's working with. Since I sold sex toys, I want to guess how much that would cost. I would say between $185 and $250. Oh, girl. A real sex toy that will take you to the limit is a $250 toy. Like, they have a toy that's $489. But when I tell you, oh, Lord, it's one that you can use with a partner. So, in my opinion, the ones that you can use with a partner tend to be more expensive than the ones that you use by yourself. And I appreciate that, because if you're using it by yourself, you're most likely single, and so you don't have a two-income household. And so thank you for thinking of my pockets when you price sex toys. I really do appreciate it. Have you ever seen a penis that you wanted to mold? Like a penis that you wanted molding, like a penis that you wanted other people to be able to experience, but without sharing? Never? Exactly. That's why you're making the mold, so you don't have to share. But it's just so beautiful.
Don't even think about it.
Have you ever just seen one that you admire? Possibly. Okay, Mary possibly saw a penis that she wanted to admire. Possibly. Okay, so as far as the big O's are concerned, before getting started, it helps to understand what is an orgasm, how do you get there, and how to do it, right? And so as far as the big O is concerned, it's like being stimulated at multiple times all over. So your big O's most likely come from someone that you have an extremely intimate relationship with, someone that you are constantly touching and they are constantly touching you. Y'all licking on each other. Y'all doing all types of weird things, maybe spitting in each other's mouth. Like, I don't know why you look like that. Like, these are real things.
Spitting.
So I like my new porn that I fell in love with is like couples porn, like real life couples porn. I don't want to watch fake people like act out things. I think it's dope to watch like couples on camera. I definitely would be a couple on camera if my couple wanted to be on camera as well.
Wait. How many people are being considered in this situation now? It's too much going on. Okay.
It's only two people.
Okay, because you said if my couple.
Yeah, if my couple, like, I'm part of the couple. If the other couple want to be on part on camera, I would be on camera too. Okay? So, the big O. Huh? There is a lot of money. Yo, do you know I have not paid for a pedicure in 3 months? I'm so
I gotta go.
Mary, this is the last time you come in here. The last time. But the big O feels like your body shakes. What do you mean? Why what? What? Because I have an OnlyFans page. But before I had an OnlyFans page, I was getting cash apps. And I was like, well, if you want to pay, somebody else want to pay too. And apparently they do, so. They want a cash app for some damn feet? That's all right. I'll claim that on my 1099. I ain't got no W-2, but I got 1099. It's a real hustle out here. You don't know? But your body is complete intensity, and it's like places that you didn't even think you had feeling in, all of a sudden is tingling. And so I am looking for a sexpert, like somebody who, what is it called? Anatomically, like somebody who can explain sex from a medical perspective. Because I have a really weird question that I think only a doctor could answer. So when I have like the big O, there's a tingle in my back that like does not subside until my back is touched. And even like it will go
That makes sense.
days. Like I could literally have and feel like I have to go get a massage.
That makes sense.
What do you mean it makes sense? Put it on your lip.
That makes sense because when you talk about like sexual activity in general, like when you reach that big O per se, like there's membranes that release from your body. It's not just like an outward ejection. It's inward too, where that has to be nurtured over time to come back down from being horny or whatever you call it, you know?
So what is being stuck in my back that needs to
It's
be
something trying to
touched?
travel to your brain. Like your brain controls your body, right?
Then why did it stop? Why couldn't it just go all the way up?
Because it's something that needs to be done to be able to control
That means one of my chakras is blocked. What is that? My sacral might be blocked. I hope not. But that means it's always blocked. But last time I went, they were free flowing, and it still happened. I need a doctor to help me understand what that is. So another type of orgasm, a clit orgasm. So an internal orgasm and a clit orgasm are two different things. And did you know that when I was selling sex toys, there was a woman who was 65 years old who came to one of my sex toy parties who said that she never had a clitoral nut. And so I was thinking, like, back in the 60s, they didn't give head. Like, why would you not have, and not even that, like, he don't never play with the pom-pom, just laying next to each other, throw his arm over you and play with it? Like
the hip-hop conversation. Maybe people
put it on your lip.
Maybe people haven't changed the times. I don't know.
You think sex changed that much? There ain't nothing new under the sun. The first profession was prostitution. You don't think broads wanted their clit played with back, like, in 00s? Like,
People are doing a whole lot of things out here.
you don't think they were doing a whole lot of things when Jesus walked earth? Oh, this is Mary. Mary is in the studio with us, but Mary's not on camera. Say hi to Mary. Mary said hi. What's going on, Kaylin? Oh, I don't know how I feel about my mentee being in the room while I'm talking about sex. My daddy knows he can't be here today, and I would appreciate if the mentee didn't judge me for being here today. Okay? No time in the 60s, just get to it. You're crazy. You think they were just like, just smashing? You think that too? You don't think you don't hear the music of the 60s? The music of the 60s. Think about the music of the 60s. You don't think dudes was licking toes? Licking clits? None of that?
No, they wasn't. They were talking about being in love and having a genuine
When you
relationship.
love somebody, you want all of them in you. Like, when you love somebody, you want to be completely engulfed by them. Sex isn't like a 2-minute thing.
That's why times have changed. It's not
If
that
anything,
anymore.
times have changed where dudes want 2 minutes today. You don't think so? DL said, yeah.
Let the people speak.
That's what DL said.
I don't know.
Listen, but this lady, she was 65 years old. She never had a clitoral nut before. So I gave her a toy for her to get a clitoral nut. And she called me and had all Betties from the church come through. And we had a sex session. Like, you will not believe the amount of knowledge around sex your grandma really had no idea of.
That's why they was
At all.
That. That's what we're talking about. They don't know about all that you be doing.
That's why I'm like, they didn't eat Gucci bag. I should have asked her. You know what? That would have been really.
Your grandma don't.
I am not asking Nana. I'm gonna call her.
Call her. We're calling her.
She gonna hang up on me. Oh, she gonna hang up on me. I'm not doing that. My grandma will beat me.
Call your nana.
My uncle will beat
Call
me.
your nana on the show.
Yeah, my daddy finna beat me. I'm not calling Nana asking her about that. I do not want to be disowned. My cousins will be calling me this afternoon. You called Auntie Carrie asking her about her clit. And you know she'll call everybody too. You know what this little girl called me? She asked me about my clit. You what? You making chitlins? No, my clit. No, No, Mary, that is not gonna work. I saw that whole thing play out. I saw that whole thing play out.
Mission to exit a granny.
Yo, her prayer group gonna know about it. Nah, B. Cause my grandma can't hold water at all. She does not hold water until it's time to hold water. Everything else is free flowing. DL said foreplay didn't start until Downtown came out. Sandy Miles for everyone. Really? I don't believe that. Gotta learn somewhere. You taking notes? Caitlin says she's taking notes. I got you, boo. I got you. I do. What's that? Who's an elder I could call? Oh, I have an elder I could call. He's a real elder, too. He's a real elder. He's like in his 80s.
Phone a friend.
And I know he gonna tell me the truth. Andre. He called me Andre. Andre. I hope he don't judge me, though. I hate you. I don't know why you instigate my shenanigans. Why you be for the shits, though? Why you be for it?
That's what friends are for.
That is not what friends are for, B. And you know what? God is so good because he did not answer the phone. He did not answer the phone. Okay, let's get back to these orgasms. The big O. So the big O is when lesser known parts of the body, such as your ears, your nipples, your neck, the elbows, the knees, can still cause a pleasurable reaction when kissed and played with. And for more sensitive people, continuous play may lead to orgasm. So if you continuously lick nipples, and nipples are a complete turn on, and he or she ends up coming from licking on their nipples. Or elbows. Remember? Oh, I don't think I told you. Some dude asked me if I could ride his kneecap. I'm not. It was a lot of money, though. It was a lot of money. But I could not. You know how my mind just played out what would happen if I called Nana and asked her about her clit? That can't even, I stopped there. I can't even imagine, hi, yes, I'm here to ride you. I can't. My brain cannot even fathom that. So, for $10,000, Alex, I'm going to have to say no. A combo. A combo is when the vagina and particularly the G-spot in the vagina. So, I know chicks that do come from their walls, they like their walls getting beat out. I'm good with my walls, but some women like it. And so you can come from your walls, you can come from your G-spot. I prefer my G-spot because that's where I squirt. That is the best for me. But the combo is when your clit and your G-spot are being hit at the same time. And that, my love, the best position is when you're getting head and touched. So you have some digits inside of you doing digity things, and then you have a mouth on you doing mouth things. And that is by far one of the most amazing feelings on earth. I am getting nostalgic because it's so amazing. And when they're stimulating at the same time, it tends to result in a more explosive, a movie orgasm. And you may convulse a little and shake a little, and your legs are shaking. And there's all types of twitching going on in your thighs, and your stomach's contrasting. And did you know women who have stronger core muscles have stronger orgasms? It was a study I read. Get your get your sit-ups. Hold on, what's the name of Kanye's song? Workout. Kanye's workout plan. We talked about anal, for you to be able to have an anal orgasm. So I really want to talk to you about an anal orgasm. So for the first 29 seconds, your whole life is over. You feel so violated, you hate it, you do not want to engage. But after that 29th second, on the 30th second, it's heaven. You start throwing it back and wanting so much more. So I think if you've never done it, but you have to be careful because you don't want a pencil penis and you don't want a freaking 7-footer either. So like, you have to have like a mild mannered penis. You know, I'm just like medium size, medium length. It can't just be. It can't be with anybody, not just anybody. So G-spot orgasms. Oh, do you know how many women? Hold on, like it's a real high number. How many women have not had an orgasm? It's like 45, 47. It's 25, 47, isn't it? Or is it 45, 40? What is it? 25, 47. 45, 27? Okay. Somebody know it. Orgasm dysfunction in women. Orgasm dysfunction is when women can either not reach orgasm or has trouble reaching an orgasm when she's sexually excited. And so these are like women who in the past may have had a history of rape or are extremely bored in the relationship or really stressed out and depressed or lack knowledge about sexual functions or have negative feelings about sex or like really shy and embarrassed about sex. And so this is like 10 to 15% of women. So 1 in every 10 or like 1.5 out of 10 women cannot reach orgasm. Do you think you have orgasm dysfunction? If you can only have one orgasm and be done, I think you might have orgasm dysfunction. Mary, you might want to ask your doctor about this.
No, it sounds like a sensitive topic because if you've been traumatized through sex, like totally understandable. But I mean, something out there for everybody. You know, maybe people just minds isn't wrapped around sex. Like this is what it is. You know. Can't force a person to a conversation. But if you start having a conversation, that's a different conversation.
So what if they were traumatized by sex, but the partner wants to have that conversation? Because if you're in a relationship and you have a partner and you have this trauma towards sex, I think that definitely needs to be a conversation in the beginning of the relationship. Like, yo, like I have trauma about sex. What's the boy name? He was a basketball player and him and his wife do videos and they live in New York. Duval. What's his name? Duval. I don't know. He's a basketball player and they have this thing and they had their podcast that came out a couple weeks ago. And he was just like, why do women get so mad when men want to have sex? Like, you should be glad I want to have sex with you. I'm not going out. I'm not cheating on you. And so like you force men into monogamous relationships where we can only have sex with you. And then we want sex every day and we trying to give you the cucky. You don't want the cucky. You want me to give it to somebody else? So... And like that was one of the things that she said. She was just like, well, had I known it was going to be like every day, like it's too much for me. It's a lot. And he was like, well, it's what you want. I gave you what you want. You wanted to be married. You wanted a monogamous relationship. I gave you that. And now you complaining because I only want to have sex with you.
She better go save up $450.
Save up for what?
$450 for that toy you was talking.
The couple's toy. Mm-hmm. Oh, let me tell you. So I had male clients too. I never did a male party, but there's this thing. It's like this slinky thing, and it feels like. Oh my gosh, what can it? You know the jelly in your feet when you like Dr. Scholl's jelly, and it feels weird. So it felt like that, but it was like it looked like a Swiss roll, but like. How many, like a foot long 6 Swiss roll. And it had on the outside, it looked like a pom-pom on one end, and on the other end, it looked like a pom-pom. And so it was like a sleeve that you played with. And that was yes. Yeah, so even if you don't want to give him any, because and there was something like I usually tell people, like if you're on your period or if you're just not in the mood, or, you know, maybe your sugar daddy, because I had mad young chicks too. So, like, you don't want to give him none, but you still want to please him. There's things that you can do. And that the little slinky thing was a thing that you could play with. And men loved it.
Did they match that up with the size too? Or
You really don't have to because it was like it stretched. So that little thing that was about a foot long could stretch. You know, if you stretch it too far, it'll break it. But it always went back to where it was. So the G-spot, your G-spot is like damn near underneath where your clit is. And so everybody's clit is different. Not everyone's clit is at the same place or the same size or the same anything. And so what a lot of women don't understand is that your clit is more than what is just visible, like what you can see. Behind the skin, there's like a wishbone type shape, but like on the outside. And that's why when you're getting head and he's like, that's why it feels absolutely amazing, because there's a part of your clit that is behind. You know what? For those who are watching, I'm just going to show you because you might not know what I'm talking about. So this right here, this is perfect. See, we don't only just talk about sex. We educate. Yeah, we learning stuff. So this is the clit right here. That's like he be licking, he be sucking, or she, depending on your preference. And behind the skin, this right here, and so this can be shaped a different types of ways. Like it could end right here for some women. It could be super long for some other women. But this right here is like the actual pleasure that we enjoy, that we love for you to do whatever you do with. But this, when you actually like put your mouth on it, is what we be feeling on the inside. Now that you learn that. So if you enter here, behind here is where the G-spot is. And so if you are, in regards to when I was saying like that feels absolutely amazing to have an internal and an external orgasm at the same damn time, that internal orgasm is in here, that G-spot. You put your finger in, you curl it like, come here, girl, come here, girl, come here, girl, and you hitting this while you touching it, rubbing it, whatever it is that you're doing, while putting your mouth on here. I just gave you the game. You can cash at me at $TAYLAANDRE, because hopefully I just changed your life. Real life. Listen, if you don't come at least 4 times, you don't count any of them. The second O is always the best one. Listen, I like volumes, not volumes. I like multiple sessions. So the most times I ever came was 32. So out of those 32, the closest to come to the so it's not a competition, but the highest one was 32. The second to highest one was same person, 29. And so on average, I would have to say, like, if seriously, between 6 and 8. And if it's a 6, it's because those 6 were so freaking intense that I don't need the other 2. But between 6 and 8, I'm not happy. If I come one time, that was an appetizer, right? Like, where's the food? And then I want dessert with a martini on the side. Like, I want all of it. I should be able to have all of it. Like, I want the whole meal. I don't want 10 minutes. I don't want 15 minutes. I don't want routine. I don't want to know what the next move is. Like, I don't want none of that at all. No, thank you. And most importantly, I don't want 1 or 2 or 3. 3 to 4 is when I get mad. Like, I'm mad. Like, you...
angry.
I'm hangry, exactly. Like, I'm really upset that we were unable to finish. So men, I want you to understand that if she came, that's great, but you should definitely have a conversation about how many times is her expected come number, because if she's and a lot of women are multiple orgasmic, multi-orgasmic, not multiple orgasmic, multi. So And what was it? Hold on, but the female orgasm. Vaginal intercourse. 96% of men said that they love making love and had include 94% of women. This is not it. What am I looking for? How many women are multiple orgasmic? You guys can still share screen. Okay, this is in Finland. I don't know if this really counts. How many times can a woman come in 24 hours? In 24 hours, I don't know. I would have to say over 50. I think I could do over 50 in 24 hours. Probably more. So one study suggests that 12% of women in Finland reported multiple orgasms during their last sexual experiences. And those were figures from women that they surveyed in 1999, 2007, and 2015. On an online 2017 survey, 1,250 women found that 70% reported experiencing multiple orgasms at least once in their life. A 2009 study suggested that women may experience a psychological refractory period. Out of 174 females, 96 reported that the clitoris became too sensitive to continue sexual activity. That is the best time to be attacked. Like when you're coming and for him to put your mouth on you when you about to nut. Like, baby, are you not indulging in your sexual appetite? I think you are limiting yourself sexually if you think your clit is too sensitive after sex to engage in more sex. I think you are really limiting yourself, and I would like to share an experience with you. So prior to being able to know, so once upon a time, I squirted. I was like, oh my God, I peed on myself, and I peed on him, and I peed his bed. And I was so my feelings are so hurt. I was so embarrassed. And it wasn't one of those type of relationships that you actually have a conversation and talk about it. So I just peed the bed. I'm so embarrassed. So that thing happened and I never talked about it and I never wanted to experience that again. And then I learned, so this was a long time ago before I even had any type of knowledge. And then I had to read up and learn about it. So prior to actually knowing how to squirt, I wouldn't allow myself to. So whenever I was getting head or the sex was great or he was playing with it, it was absolutely amazing. And I was just I never want to experience that thing where I peed on somebody ever again. And so I would stop myself. And so I sexually limited myself, I would have to say for 8 to 10 years. No, because I can still come without squirting. So I can still have those baby nuts. They're oh, versus the, oh my God. You can, you can still have little mini nuts and those still count for me. And maybe that's why the number is so high. Because I still count the little baby nuts. Those ones count too. And so if I have a whole bunch of little baby nuts and then I have a big O and then I can also do I can do this until there's no more fluid in me left. Drink some water. Huh?
Tally sheet next to you.
No, I don't have a tally sheet, but when, narcissistic men and I'm egotistical, yo, your number's 12, B. I'm going to save you in my phone as 12. 18's unavailable today, so I called you. I'm lying. I'm talking. I'm not telling the truth right now. So an ejaculation versus an orgasm. Some women ejaculate, have female ejaculations, and these are real things. And some women do not have female ejaculations and only do regular comes. And so remove this. So for the women who only can regular come, I suggest you step outside of your comfort zone. So it really, like, you might get that tingling feeling and it might be weird and you may have peed on somebody and that freaked you out, so you never want to experience again. But I dare you to go beyond your limit, to push yourself, and it's absolutely amazing. So there are some times where you just have to move his head and be like, listen, stop. This is like, stop. She's super sensitive. I need a minute. But then other times, if you just push through it, I promise you, like, that orgasm is absolutely amazing. Your legs shake, your feet turn into transformers. Like, it's so dope. And it's amazing. And it just, like, all of the stress from the whole year is just released. And then you can go to sleep and wake up and do it again in 45 minutes.
Thank you for sharing that real experience.
I want everybody to learn. I want everyone to, like, there's other people that have some, I know DL got stories, though. Go on and tell you your story, DL, because DL be engaging in the realness. So there's people out here that experience their sexuality. Not everybody is approved, or was it Puritans? Not everybody's Puritan about sex. Not everybody just want to, like, procreate for creation. That is not what I meant to say. No, not. Some people just don't want to engage in sex for procreation. If you actually enjoy sex and you indulge in sex, if you're going to do it, you might as well do it to the best of your capacity. Why are you going to half-ass it? The point. I got one life to live. I am going to fully enjoy it and enjoy my multiple orgasms. And prior to having multiple orgasms, I would stop myself from there. And so I'm just suggesting that maybe you push through it, or if you have a girl who won't push through it, she doesn't understand. And that's where it goes back to, like, the women who have difficulty having an orgasm it doesn't always have to be trauma. It could be lack of education. And if you don't know your body, like, if you don't know how to make you come, how you expect somebody else to pleasure you? If you don't know where you like to be touched, if you don't know how you like to be kissed, if these things aren't important to your sex life, how you expect it to be important to somebody else regarding your sex life? So, to thy own self be true, baby. Know yourself. Know how to make you come. Know what you like. Know how you like to be touched. And then have that conversation. We want to talk about everything else. Why you can't talk about what you actually like instead of letting somebody do to you what he did to somebody or she did to somebody else? We not the same. You messing with a different breed. I'm another beast, my love. Let's have a real conversation before we engage in this nonsense, so you're not half-assing it and I gotta hurt your feelings. For those who don't know, we got Mary in the building. Shout out to Mary. Where your little lamb at, boo? So let's recap, because we're coming to the top of the hour, and I hope you guys are getting the knowledge, because this is more than just like, let's talk about sex, baby. We're talking about all of it, right? And so you can have a clit nut where, like, the clitoral nut is really, like, felt in your skin. It's all tingly. You can feel it up your back and all in your legs. Your hairs raise up. You know, it's an amazing feeling. Then you have your vaginal nut. That's when you just, like, riding it, he's hitting it, like it's doggy style type nut, depending if he has a gonzo, because if he has a gonzo, depending on the curve, you might be getting, like, multiple nuts. Oh, another way that you can have a great simultaneous nut is if he's hitting it from the back, reach around and play with the clit at the same time. Like, that'll drive you crazy. As far as the men are concerned, I'm trying to teach you game. I know they have porn for this, but you don't really be able to have a conversation with somebody and be like, well, does she like it? Yes, we love it. Please, wrap it up. Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, okay, bye. I thought I was in trouble. Hey, yo, Mary. Talk real quick. Or just go open the door, because you don't want to talk, so I'll talk. So, waking up with Taylor Andre, Monday through Friday. I got something in the throat. And I don't have no liquid in the bag. So for Freaky Friday, we're talking about different ways that people can come. And, you know, there are different ways that you can come from your clit, from your vaginal canal, getting hit from the back, doggy style, riding it. Anal, a combo when you're getting like both, or maybe you're doing anal and clit at the same time. And then you're like erogenous zones where you got somebody riding on your kneecap and you coming that way. Maybe that's what it was. Like he really wanted me to just ride his kneecap so because he can have erogenous zone nuts. And that's like an erogenous zone nut is like that. What was the name of that landing strip? The Panerio line. Whatever that line is under men's balls, men, you can come from like rubbing that. It is Panerio? Yes. And so there's multiple ways that you can have an orgasm. You don't have to just have it one way. You don't only have to do missionary. You don't only have to do doggy style. There are options out here. Yo, there's this one that I really want to try, and it looks really weird, but you'd have to like do it with somebody who's really confident in their manhood because it kind of puts them in a position that most men don't really want to be in. But I guess if you like your salad to be tossed, then you have no problem in this position. Some men like their salad tossed, okay? Not all of them are going to admit it in public, but some men have no problem with you licking the balls, the line under, and going a little further. I won't say what I was going to say. Who did we call? Oh, we called OB. I don't know what that means. I do want to know about elders. Don't judge me. I really do want to know. If OB doesn't answer, we're gonna call Daddy, because I want to know if they did these things in the 80s.
Hello.
Hi, OB.
How you doing?
I'm well. OB, can I ask you a personal question?
Yeah, call me back later. I'm driving right now, dear.
Okay, hands free. Be careful.
Okay.
We're going to ask OB next Friday. Do you have personal conversations with your parents?
Hey, babe.
Hi, Daddy.
What's up?
I have a
You
question.
gotta jump back over here.
Who?
Let me see it. Say that again, Taylor.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So I'm wondering if, like, did you guys engage in oral sex back in the 80s?
Okay, so you know I'm at work right now, right?
You can just say yes or no, Daddy.
Yes, we did.
What's the caveat? Like, what's the but to that?
There is no but. I'm you know I'm at work, right? So like I gotta say, I'm kind of busy. Got two car deals trying to put together.
Okay, fine.
But I know we'll talk later.
Yes, Daddy.
All right, baby. Love you.
I love you.
Bye-bye.
They did give head in the 80s. I know. I want him to not be at work, but I want him to get money. No, I want to talk to old people. Like, I want to actually talk to old people. You got an old person we can call? Elder. I'm sorry, elder. I respect my elders. I want to call an elder because earlier we were talking about clit nuts and how when I was selling sex toys, there was this older lady who, 65 years old, had never had a clitoral nut. And I'm trying to figure out, like, you ain't never got head before? Like, how you ain't never had a clit nut? He ain't never played with it? Like, he didn't play with it when y'all woke up before you went to bed? Just, like, a precursor to the actual sex? There was none of that? How did you not have a clit nut ever in your life? And you want to know what open mouth wonder? 2 days ago, I wrote that oral sex was becoming destigmatized and normalized thwarted parents who had hoped they could stick to the basics in talking to their kids about sex. Many of you wrote back dismissing my assumptions as prude, inadequate, and out of touch. You argue that oral sex has always been more basic and common than vaginal sex, and the idea of recent stick. But you know what, though? Catholic girls can suck cocky all day and not even feel like they had sex. Oh, you a Catholic, Mary? I should have known Mary. I should have known Mary went to Catholic school. Your parents named you Mary for a reason. You slut. No, just joking. My bad. I'm so disrespectful. Okay, so I don't want to read this. I don't want to Google this. I want to talk to an elder. I want to find out whether or not back in the days when they were talking about standing up in it, when they were talking about like turn off the lights, were they turning off the lights to, because it was too hairy, or why were we turning off the lights? Was you doing oral sex or not? Or not? Another one. It's in the comments? Oh, in the comments? Nobody's commented recently. The last comment was from Andrea Jones, who said, if I don't come at least 4 times, I don't count any of them. My second O is always the best one. And I like multiples like that. As far as that is concerned, that sounds like multiples. Have you ever found for condoms to like lessen your orgasm? Yes, it does. Does anybody else feel that way? That like not just for men but for women, because men are like, does it matter for women? Why?
Your level of splash might be different from what the condom offers.
Hold on, what?
Your level of splash
I know, but how do,
may be different from what the condom offers. It could be too wet, it could be not enough, it could be dry, it could be friction. That's why some women are alerted to the type of lube that they use in some condoms.
mm-hmm. And sometimes it don't even be allergies. That it be bacteria, vaginosis, and what's the other one called? What's it called when you have that thing, that bag that you squeeze and it have a long thing in it?
A negative test.
No. Oh, a douche thing. What's it called? Yeast infection.
Oh.
No, so as far as like lubricants are concerned, and even like whipped cream, like you're not supposed to have whipped cream on your pom pom. Like all of those flavors and everything else, like chocolate syrup and honey, like that's not what's supposed to be happening. Hold on, let's really have some. Hold on, I feel in my soul that we need to have etiquette for a second. And so let me be clear. It's really sexy when you guys try to do really sexy things and try to incorporate food into the bedroom. But listen, not everybody's pom pom can handle chocolate sauce up and in her. And so even if you're like pouring it on your own and she suck it off, there's still remnants of that flavorful food that is still on your penis that you are now putting inside of her, and the pom pom don't always reconcile with that fairly. So just be careful and cautious, because not all of us, as far as incorporating lubricants into the bedroom, incorporating different things, like that's cute, but make sure you have a conversation, because you don't know what she may or may not be good at. And so the may or may not be good with. So we have come all the way to the top of the hour. Mary's in the building. And I wish Mary would come back one day, but she probably would never come back for Freaky Friday. Today we talked about orgasms and the different type of orgasms. And though Freaky Friday is about nastiness and sex and touching and licking and sucking, and you better not bring your kids because this is not a kid conversation, we still can have ignorant conversations while educating. And so that's exactly, ignorant but educating. I like that for Fridays. Having ignorant but educating conversations. Educating the ignorance. Hey. I was going to say screenshot. I meant copyright. Lord have mercy. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Oh, Margaret Moore, can we have lunch? What do you do? My hair is all types of messed up. Margaret, what are you doing? Can we have lunch, please, today? I will take the day off for you. Somebody else asked me to take the day off. I was like, no, work don't end because it snowed. Is the world ending? It ain't no day off. But if Mary Margaret want to go, Mary and Margaret, the two sluts, you two sluts want to go for lunch? Come, Mary, can we go for lunch? Margaret, can we go for lunch? Oh, Shireen White said condoms take away from her orgasm too, so it's not just me. Yo, listen, a condom, I don't even want sex. That's why I can't have sex, because I want nasties. I feel you. James Woody, if you come, James, you buying drinks. But you can come. If Mary wants to go, she says she's stuck at work. She can't go. Oh, Eminem, I love you, Eminem. I miss you so much. I hope you have an amazing day today at work. Please give my uncles hugs and kisses for me. James Woody, I got to go to work today because Miss Margaret is unavailable. But we can go next time when Miss Margaret is not stuck at work. How does that work? Thumbs up. Let me see. You hear my voice clap one time? I hate that. I hate that. Clap my voice 2 times. Mwah. I am Taylor Andre. Waking Up with Taylor Andre is about educating the ignorant. No, it's not. Unorthodox conversations leading to universal consciousness. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. And I would like to leave you out with a song. That song is Loving You is Easy 'Cause Your Penis is Beautiful. Do and do and do do. Yo, she co-signs my shenanigans. Mary, I wish you didn't co-sign. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend, and we will see you on Monday with Motivational Monday, Waking Up with Taylor Andre. Everything Taylor Andre, TAYLAANDRE. Make sure you guys get the book. If you need any help with real estate, buying, selling, foreclosing, short selling, 617-459-0041. That is my actual number. And what do you say? An out with penis. What do you say an out with penis for? Where are we going? Wherever you want to go. You know where I want to go? I want risotto. I want that scallop risotto from that racist freaking Dorset Hall. I hate Dorset Hall, and I hate giving them my money. But James, if you pay, I'm gonna say, if you pay, I'm gonna say. No, but I've had I had an incident in Dorset Hall, and I swore that I was never going back there. But I can't tell you how bad I fiend for that freaking scallop risotto. Oh my gosh, I've never had anybody else make it better than that. Davido's has good risotto. Come on, let's go for lunch right now. All right. Okay, Mary, we take the. What do I like? I like everything. And I like that you guys will be back on Monday, and tell all your friends to tell a friend to come on, because we have over 700 shows on YouTube. And so just check them out. # Wake Up with Taylor Andre. Everything Tailor Made. Real Estate Easy. TAYLAANDRE. I thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Mwah. Loving you.